Hi friends, today I'm going to talk about the Stormpoint map updates and just share my thoughts on what it means for the map and also explain a bit about what some of these changes actually are. So let's jump into it. It says monstrous Stormpoint map update, and that actually relates to what we saw in the gameplay trailer and even the launch trailer. We saw this big monster kind of attack the legends, and it's now become the new point of interest, which you can see. And it's actually a really big point of interest, which is really cool. And you'll also notice it's in between kind of North Pad and the mill. And you can also see what the point of interest is called. It's called Downed Beast. So this will be a big marker on the map, and you'll actually get to see the map in a second when I scroll down. But you can see just how big this point of interest is. There is a bit of lore behind it as well. If you remember on King's Canyon, when Fuse's ship crashed back in Season 8, Echo actually took over those areas to clean up the fuel waste that spilled into the water supply on King's Canyon. And it's the similar kind of thing here on Stormpoint now, where Echo have arrived on Stormpoint to help clean up this monster. But the lore behind it is that that's going to take some time, so at the moment it's turned into a point of interest. And because of that, you'll have some familiar areas in this POI, similar to what we've got in Spotted Lake on King's Canyon. So these kind of tents you can recognize, these are all kind of Echo tents, the same that you'll find in Spotted Lake, which is quite cool. You've also got gravity canyons, so you can get across the point of interest quite quickly. You can see a little bit inside, there are different levels, there's lots of loot inside, and it is actually a high tier loot zone. So landing here will get you some really good loot, which could be quite a good thing. So that's the new POI. The next thing that's coming as part of the Stormpoint map updates are the IMC Armories. Now these things are really cool. So there's 4 of them around the map, and they kind of look like this. They're similar to the explosive holds on King's Canyon, but they're actually a little bit bigger. There's a lot more room to walk around inside, and there's a really cool mechanic which we'll look at in just a second. But here you can see the new map updates. So there's North Pad up here, then you've got the mill sort of around here, and this is where the Down Beast is. So this is the new POI. And it's just opposite checkpoint as well. So this is going to be a really good kind of busy area. So here's how the armories work. It says when you approach the armory, the ramp will automatically open to provide access to the interior. And then once you're inside, you'll find a payload of weapons and a button to access the valuable loot stored inside of it, which happens to be guarded by specters. And so if you activate this, then the armory will close and lock up. So this part's really good because it means you won't get third-partied as much, or in fact at all. And actually, if you need to heal up, it could be a great way to heal up, because I don't know how aggressive the specters are going to be, but it could be a good way if you're low on health to activate that, stop the enemy teams pushing you, and give you a chance to heal up inside. Once you're inside and you've activated the ramp, the specters will appear, and you essentially have to survive for 60 seconds, as it says here. And if you can do that, you'll then receive smart loot that's centered around upgrading your loadout. If I scroll back to the map, it is interesting how they positioned it though, because they are all on the outside of the map, more or less. I think the encouragement is they want you to do these early on in the game, rather than towards the end of the game. And you get a bit of a view inside. You can see these weapon racks, which are quite familiar, because we've got the similar kind of thing on King's Canyon. Oh, and by the way, once you finish the challenge, you have the option to eject up into the sky, or simply leave through the door. So essentially, when you finish the challenge, the doors will then lower and you can walk out, but there'll also be a skydive option, and those green skydives are fairly similar to what we had in Control. So that's the armories. I think the armories will be a great addition to Stormpoint. They have done some quality of life updates as well. Nothing major. They've done some things around the prowlers. They've added a new prowler camp. It seems like they've changed how the prowlers work a little bit, but not too much it would seem, although it does say they've made hundreds of smaller quality of life updates, but they haven't listed them out, so I assume they're just kind of map smoothing things, those smaller insignificant things that not everyone would have experienced, and that's probably why they haven't listed them out. And that's kind of it. So it's not the biggest map updates we've ever had, but I do think it will help Stormpoint just a little bit. So I think these will be good changes. I don't think they're going to revolutionize Stormpoint. For those of you that didn't like Stormpoint before, I don't think it's going to change that too much. So I don't think the experience will be massively different. However, the new POI does look like it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's definitely something to look out for in Stormpoint. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll have loads more Season 13 content coming your way. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.